this is definitely a warning for Preston. This is not going to be as smooth sailing as what Sunday was. Much more different conditions. That's a close decision there. Lisolaski coming very close to a foul on Roland Ballard there. Still looking for the opening here. A 4-4-2 for Preston out of possession, it looks like here, with Cuba getting a further forward next to Bernardo. And I reckon this is suiting City pretty well. That's a poor pass though. Cuba closing that down. The City doing really well at cycling possession here. Lisolaski needs to be on point here. He looks to the touch line and he finds it well just to buy a bit of space.
Well, a scare for Preston there with the penalty appeal. Katie, what did you see it as? I mean, City looked like they were in behind and the bench were incensed. Penalty. Preston lucky to get away with that one?
A little bit. Arguably, I don't have the best view of it from here, but I think it's as good as we'll ever have. This Yannis is in the middle, so they can't let that deter them here. City now.
This is going to be Roland Ballard. Back to McIntosh. Thought about the strike. Nicely disguised pass. This is a lovely move. And Ryan Scott off his line to smother. Preston bailed out of trouble again. Foligno. And now Cianci stretching his legs. He could have been away there. And could there be a booking? And Zach Cianci was brought down. Well, it's just going to be a warning. It was in the opposition half, but given we know how quick Zach Cianci is, I can't say that wasn't an opportunity to attack.
Absolutely. Would have been pretty clear through there, Cianci. Of course, he's coming off a pretty good performance against Gully recently.
It was Dominic Arvanis who was the guilty party there and given a talking to by Yannis. Is this just a warning in these early exchanges? Foligno steps in to win. Bernardo herring after that one. Nachovsky holds him off brilliantly. That's Arvanis finding a gap. And Kubele striding in to win the ball after the sliding challenge. Noel Bernardo's tackle was brilliant. And now Tavir joining the attack and getting to the byline. And his shot can't beat the first man, or rather cross, can't beat the first man at the near post. And Jaden Nachovsky. His brother Jackson was playing here for Preston last season. He's now playing for FC Melbourne Serbia in VPL 1 after a little loan stint at the back end of the season with Northcote. Both towering central defenders. Jaden, the younger brother, seems to have a big future in the game at just 18 years of age. Preston second corner. Can they find a red shirt? Not the first attempt. Hacked away by Roland Ballard. Good run by Tavir, and he's well found, and Tavir saw his name up in lights, as it has been already in his time in Preston colours since joining mid-season, but that was not one of his better moments.
Execution not quite there, but I can see the idea, particularly with the breeze behind your back, just to try and test the keeper, get that shot on. And all about execution tonight once again.
Fraser Brown. Out to Baker. Blanis can't beat Jamal Ali to the ball. It's back at the feet of Scott. Inhospitable conditions tonight in a reservoir, not like the beautiful sunny Sunday we had last time out. It's a heavy pitch. Ali. Foligno It's straight into the back of Dimi Vlanis.
Been fantastic with his interceptions and reading the play here, Vlanis. Pretty prominent for City early doors.
Preston wanted a free kick for the hold there. Giannis Isis taking a pretty liberal approach tonight, letting the play run both ends of the pitch.
I have to say it is making for a pretty open game here despite the conditions.
Baker. Nicely disguised pass. Recchia sending it wide. Balla. Recchia involved again. Tried to squeeze it through the narrowest of gaps, and Lisalewski does well. Felino, the former City youngster. Brooks turned it over. Kubalay couldn't win it back. And the City possession resumes.
Preston, when they have it, do appear to be sharper, and particularly Luca Tavia just dropping into those spaces in between the lines. Just his movement as well, just proving pretty crucial. Kubalay still the main man screening across the midfield, especially when the lines are in possession.
15 minutes or so into this game, and City have acquitted themselves relatively well. Recchia getting free. Balla down the right. Their leading scorer, can he turn provider? Recchia's pass is a clever one, and Aiden Bryce stands in the way. Lisalewski charging down the cross, a City corner.
They've been head to head so far this evening, Lisalewski and Balla. I have to say, I've got to give Balla the point so far. Some incisive passes here for City, especially that one from Recchia.
Short corner. Balla lifts it into the back stick. Nachovsky was the obvious target, but it falls well short. And straight to Ryan Scott. Scott's throw was a poor one, and Nachovsky ends up with it and feeds it wide. Balla on the angle and blazes his shot well over. And that's not the kind of lethal finishing we've been accustomed to seeing from him this season. He blazed away with his weaker foot. Now Cuba. Oh, that's a lovely ball from Cuba, and the flag stays down for Leighton Brooks, and Preston go from coast to coast, but Lockie Charles comes out and makes himself big.
Perfection from the shot stopper there from Charles. But even then from Cuba, that just goes to show you Preston do not need much of a chance to hurt you, especially when you have that level of counter-attacking ability within your team, and the accuracy of that passing from Cuba. Brilliant stuff.
Cuba's corner. Driven into the back posts. A looping header to the near. Cuba gets another bite at this, a cut back to Tavia. Aiden Bryce finding himself in an unfamiliar crossing position. Tavia losing his feet and then catching the ball. An inadvertent handball from Luca Tavia. into the scrum and came out with it in his grasp. If he was playing rugby union, he'd be doing a good job.
Ideal conditions for rugby union, mind you.
I think so. This pitch looks like it's had some rugby union played on it. It's just the conditions, unfortunately.
It's holding up okay given the weather, I will say that.
There's a few bare patches around the centre circle and in the two goal mouths, but you're going to have to put a lot on your passes tonight, unless they fall short.
Adapting to the conditions is so crucial. And that's probably the challenge, and I think, to be fair, that was the challenge for City, and they've acquitted themselves quite nicely in terms of that.
Bauer skipping in field. McIntosh turned it over. Ali under the pump from Vlanis.
Well done, Timmy, well done! Good keep! Higher, team! Yeah, there it is, there it is, Timmy!
Bryce, clever pass. Cuba, first time. Finding Brooks, who dribbles into traffic, but will win a throw-in nonetheless. Cuba thinking about the quick one. Goes back to Ali. Felino spots a gap and accelerates. Maybe he's taken it a touch too far. Oh, Felino's done well to recover from his error.
And also superb by Kubalay just to drop in and fill the gap.
Really clever positioning from Oli Kubalay. He's the glue. Cuba out wide to Brooks. He's getting a lot of joy down the right. Driven in low. And Tavia to strike first time. And Nachovsky stands tall and in the way. Kubalay! Just dragged wide. He thought there was a touch on the way through. Melbourne City are now the ones living dangerously.
Yeah, they look the most likely now, don't they? The big guns are starting to put their foot on this game. Kubalay, Tavia, Brooks and Cuba starting to combine a bit more. And this is a worrying sign if you are of the City persuasion.
So there's lightning counterattacks down the right with Leighton Brooks that Matthew Baker and Melbourne City generally don't seem to have an answer for. Again, sharp footwork from Balla. Baker. Blanis. Lovely shimmy from Dimitri Vlanis. Is an intelligent dribbler, and he showed it there to win a corner.
Corner count continuing to rise here.
On a rainy, scrappy night like this, set pieces could be the difference. The ball wasn't on the spot. And this is a recurring theme at this venue because there's actually a little divot in that corner. And frequently takers will try and cheat a metre or two. Sometimes refs turn a blind eye, not in this case. Short routine, change of angle and a looping cross, which is an easy claim for the Preston skipper. And they restart quickly through Bernardo. Chianchi wasn't quite on the same page as Bernardo. He was looking for the little handoff there. Nearly stole the ball off his teammate's toe. Mover goes on for Preston as Felino zips one into Brooks. That's a clever touch. And Tavia looked like he was brought down. A belated whistle blown against Angus McIntosh. Quickly taken free kick from Preston. May not have been the right decision.
Again, good refereeing from Yannis. He's just to try and let that advantage form. He's letting it go tonight. Zaleski.
The left back joining the attack again. Both Preston central defenders well over the halfway line now. Chianchi's footing failed him. See studs giving way in the turf there as he tried to spin on a dime in his usual fashion. Bryce, a wonderful vertical pass again. Bernardo turns and finds the switch out to Brooks. Ali coming up in support now. Both players look like they were on ice skates there. Neither could control the ball. Goal kick is the outcome.
Once again, the right side proving rather dominant for Preston this evening. I know they haven't had a lot of chances and a lot of territory dominant that way, but whenever they do, whenever they are in the transition or whenever they can get their foot on the ball, they look far more threatening in the final third than what City have looked.
Another great challenge from Kubalate. Hakeem Gerald thought he was away. Zaleski. Foligno. Cuba. That's confident football from Preston. Out through the press. Now Cuba breaks down. Its ball skips away from Leighton Brooks, but the interchange of passing out from the back was very easy on the eye.
I think we're looking at full-blown soccer ball in that moment.
Absolutely, this team getting closer and closer to Zoran Markovski's ideal vision of how this team should play. He's taken some time in his first season in charge, of course, but already with one piece of silverware under his belt. Blanis, Satilamus. Zaleski had to win that. Chianchi can't make up the grounds. Gerald twisting back onto his right, and the stinging shot is straight at Scott. Quick restart from Scott. Straight up to Bernardo and a little layoff to Tavia, and that's how simple it can be for Preston as Tavia rolls it in behind for Chianchi. Back with Tavia again, 3 in the box to aim for. Tavia whips it in, and it's behind by Nachovsky for another Preston corner. Well, as soon as Ryan Scott looked up, he saw Noel Bernardo showing for the ball. 1, 2, 3, and Preston were away.
Formidable. Formidable. In full flight at their best. Can I still maintain this if Preston, this Preston team, if they make it in light of everything, if they can make finals, you don't want to be playing them.
Tavia could bend on that, and Charles has to backpedal to palm it away. What a challenge from Noel Bernardo. Imagine being a 17, 18-year-old City player and seeing Noel Bernardo charging at you in that fashion.
It's enough to make you think twice, I wonder. So much of him, I've said this before and I'll say it again, there's a fair bit of Carlos Tevez and the way Noel Bernardo attacks the ball and the way he generally plays the game. It's an absolute joy to watch.
Advantage paid by the referee for a bit of a late challenge from Bryce. Balla. pull down that City right flank. And Lisalewski comes out on top.
Roland, Kai, set it up!
Vranas committing the foul.
Yanni, it's in the fucking corner!
Turned over by Kubalay. Bryce has to hammer into that challenge.
It's the first misstep he's made all night there, Kubalay.
Preston have been playing out from the press pretty confidently, but one mistake is all it might take. That's good from Foligno. Now another opportunity for Leighton Brooks to hurt Melbourne City. The former Victory man, of course. Ali. Micah had a piece of his shirt. Jamal Ali wriggles clear and finds Sian Cuba. Oh, not far away at all. That was a big chance for Preston. Jamal Ali. He could nutmeg a mermaid in a phone box. And he just about did there.
He's incredible on his best, isn't he, Jamal Ali? He hasn't had the chance to join the attack so much often tonight anyway, but again, he's a remarkable player in the sense he's just a way he can control the game from fullback is absolutely stunning at this level.
Preston win it back just ahead of the halfway line. Sian Cuba will win the free kick, and this is shooting range for Preston.
That's 100%. It's a free kick every day of the week, but dangerous territory here for City. Right where you want it for Preston. Kuba and Sevilla just standing over it. Likely be Sian Kuba here.
It will be Cuba. No subterfuge. He's taking ownership of this one. He won the free kick and he will strike for goal. It's Cuba! And it's brilliant! Sian Cuba with a peach! Preston lead! And listen to the roar from the crowd. That's the goal they needed to put some wind back in their sails.
And that's one way to break out the Cubans. Sian, top-notch stuff there. From the outset, he looked so confident, didn't he? He looked ready to stand over that and knew exactly where to send it. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. That's a massive goal in the context of the final series, in the context of Preston's season. You have to say that was coming too. Preston look increasingly threatening as the half has gone on, and they get a goal to show for it.
Sian Cuba with his 6th goal of the season. He's gone quite a few weeks without scoring. Give him a much needed confidence boost in front of goal. Preston, after that penalty scare, pretty much pummeled Melbourne City without reward on the scoreboard. It's nothing less than they deserved. Nice take from Bala. Flannis. Pulling this way and that, but 3 red shirts crowd him out eventually. Hakeem Gerald with another look at this one. And now Julian Recchia. Danger cleared. Preston have to keep their concentration, especially after just opening the scoring. A little nutmeg from Baker on Kubalay. Brooks. Bernarda holding it up. Kubalay. Cuba ran into traffic. It's good 1v1 defending against Nichowski, and then Bernardo has a few words in exchange with the Melbourne City central defender.
He may well take that personally, Will Bernardo.
I don't think there was all too much in that. It was pretty cleanly won. Sound Cuba disappointed, but didn't really have a case. Gerald gets it back from Baker. Akeem Gerald. McIntosh has to dodge out of the way of the referee. And then the Bronx cheer goes up from the Preston grandstand. Down the line from Ali. Flicked around the corner from Brooks. Bernardo for Cuba, who's got plenty of room to work in. Can Cuba turn provider? It's along the deck, and that looked goal bound until it struck his own player from Bernardo. Now Ali at the front post. What a miss. Preston with another golden chance, and it goes begging. Jamal Ali slams the turf in frustration. He can't believe it. Oh, Bernardo's left-footed effort looked bound the top bins. But Zach Cianci inadvertently in the way.
Not the first time he's kind of crossed lanes or crossed paths there with Bernardo there, Cianci. And that's okay. It's coming oh so close once again for Preston. Jamal Ali, he knew it, didn't he? He might not get as good a chance as that all game.
He's yet to score a league goal for Preston this season. Made a habit of turning up in those sorts of positions for Heidelberg last season. 8 league goals in a stunning campaign. He's been really good for Preston this year, but more in a traditional defensive sense. Not so much on the scoreboard. Cuba with another chance to thread the through ball. Doesn't pick his spot that time.
Absolutely, Jamal Ali in a different structure as we know, but he's adapted to it oh so well. Playing him at fullback, I think, has freed him up a lot more. Lovely from Kubalay.
Really composed stuff. Kubalay waited for the right moment to pick that pass. Now Brooks. Preston with a bit of a strut in their play now. Can City hit back in transition? Ollie Kubalay screening the back four like that. Brought down, simple decision. Kaiser Tilmas clips his heels. Well, credit to all the fans who've come out to watch tonight. 8:30 p.m. on a Wednesday night in the freezing cold and rain. Preston has still got a decent turnout in the grandstand.
One for the believers, this one. And Preston have plenty of them.
One for the NPL sickos, I think, Katie.
Count
Everyone
us
else
in.
is tucked up on the couch watching this on the stream, and hello to you. We understand your decision if you chose to stay home tonight, but hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Ali. Pass 2. Brilliant from Jamal Ali. Gallivanting forward. He gets it back from Cuba. And then a perfectly timed release for Zach Lisolejski down the left. Cuba with an opportunity to cross. Hesitated. It seemed like Preston had the numbers to aim for there, but taking a more patient approach. Bernardo's layoff. Kubalay. Lisolejski onto his left foot now. Balla can't find a teammate. Bryce stepping in. Zips straight into the feet of Noel Bernardo. Kubalay. Cuba's layoff, Bernardo's cross. Encircling the City penalty area. Can they get a shot away? There's been pace and verve and tempo about Preston's play tonight. As did you expect from a team who's unbeaten in 14 games? Nice switch of play from Bryce. Brooks. Banker behind for a Preston corner.
There's definitely a swagger and an energy around Preston now. Of course, they don't look like a team that has faced a heavy schedule. They look formidably fresh here and now.
Tavia. Oh, the punch from Charles. Lacked purchase on it. Rather skimmed off his glove in the wet. Ali. Popping up on the left flank. That's a poor giveaway from Ali. And City will race away. Dimi Vlanis. Look at the challenge from Tavia. Absolutely fantastic. And a good win of the ball too. And City. Fraser Brown with a good tackle. That's a night for sliding challenges, Katie.
100%. Heavy conditions, as we know, but it's a wet underfoot. Might as well make the absolute full toll of it. Just need to find a way to calm down and have a decent spell of possession here, City.
Vlanis. Great use of the body feint. McIntosh. I see the idea from Brooks, but it might be costly here. McIntosh. Preston can't clear their lines. Satilmas. Bryce in the way. Hearts in mouths for a moment from a Preston perspective, but that deflection didn't turn out to be a nasty one. So a City corner and a chance to reply. The walloping figure of Jaden Nachovsky makes his way into the 6-yard box. Roland Bauer gets plenty of whip and curl off his left boot. Bit of wrestling going on for Yanni Zizis to issue some warnings about. Onto the grateful gloves of Ryan Scott. It's a poor delivery from Bala.
Was he trying for an Olympico, perhaps?
Well, wouldn't put it past him with his goal-scoring record this season. Another underwhelming outcome. Now Chianchi. Opportunity to stretch those legs. Look at the pace of Zach Chianchi. The cutback for Bernarda. Leaves it for Tavia. The dummy was brilliant. The finish was skyward. Oh, Luca Tavia can't believe it. That one's cleared the goal and the fence behind. Might have ended up in the Mary Creek.
I think it's still landing there at the moment. Luca Tavia, that's the second time he's done that this evening, getting in another threatening position and just taking the shot on.
Just a straight foot race for Zach Chianchi. Burnt his man with ease.
Brilliant transitional play, so Preston's continuing to exploit that. And even on the press, they look fantastic. Even in the sense that City even make even just like a minorly wayward pass. Preston are there just to latch onto it. Ticking down to the halftime break.
I do wonder whether City might think about some changes at the break. It hasn't gone to plan. Still only one goal behind though, so right in this, despite the momentum in this game, being all Preston. They're more than capable of the talent in these ranks. The squad they've assembled tonight, the senior team experience running through it, players on the cusp thereof.
Ben Matseo, of course, on the bench. I wonder if he'll have some instructions from Stu McDonald at the break.
Stand up.
McIntosh. Brown.
Step higher, Gussie, step higher now.
Bala. Darting in field. Kupele blocking the lane again. Oh, Chianchi got the beating of his man. Now there's a few temper flare-ups to follow. The card is yellow. Let's see if there's any other cards to follow. Tempers boiling over in the shadows of half-time. Zach Chianchi was just too quick.
He's called for the bench already. This does not look good. He's called for help. 1 minute of extra time, and I reckon we're going to get way more than that now. That's a very fortunate decision just to have a yellow card shown there. Chianchi had him beaten all ends up.
There's probably a covering defender that just about saved his bacon.
You know, that just makes the challenge so much more needless. You have a covering defender there, you have someone in the space behind you. Lack of communication perhaps, so there's no need for that challenge. And I think Bala has been shown a yellow for his troubles in the aftermath there.
Zach Chianchi left limping. So 1 extra minute to play when we resume. Whenever that might be. Bit of paperwork to do for the referee. Might there be further sanction? Yeah, Noel Bernarda's going to go into the book for his role in the brouhaha that followed. And Lockie Charles is booked as well.
Slices of cheese everywhere now.
I think Christmas has come early at BT Connor, the way these cards are being handed out. Delivery into the box. Charles up to punch. Brooks. And that will be half-time. Temper flare-ups to finish, but Preston should be pretty satisfied with their performance so far, although they could have put the game beyond doubt if their shooting boots had not deserted them. Sian Cuba with the game's only goal, winning the free kick and whipping it into the bottom corner absolutely beautifully from all of 25 yards. Luka Tavir has had chances, Jamal Ali, Bernarda's had looks, Leighton Brooks as well. And a 1v1 saved. City have clung on. Closest they came, a penalty shout in the first half, early in the contest rather, and a very presentable chance for their leading scorer, Roland Bala, on his right foot. But in truth, they've been second best, Katie.
They have, and that's a pretty fair take. I think to start off with, they used possession pretty well. They looked rather, I don't know, they looked rather comfortable, to be fair, but Preston got their game going. Preston, once they started to get their transition game, once they started to win more of the ball in dangerous areas, I think it just put City on their heels. And Preston has certainly left goals out there, similar to what they did on Sunday, to be fair, against the Thunder. 1-0, still all to play for. I can't help but feel that Preston have a lot more to give than what they've shown. I think they might see off the City challenge, but it's going to be a massive second half in the context of both of these team seasons.
Yeah, massive implications in the finals picture. Stay with us on the other side of this break. The halftime score at Geneseo Stadium is Preston Lions 1, Melbourne City 0. half-time change for the Preston Lions, with Aidan Bryce replaced by Matt Bosnovsky as Soren Markovsky continues to shuffle his pack with this busy schedule. Preston with a goal advantage at the break thanks to Sion Cuba's brilliant first half free kick. They could have had more, but the game remains a very much live possibility as we kick off the second 45 here. Josh Parrish on the call alongside Katie Lambeski. Katie, what have you made of the game thus far? What does City need to do differently to get back into it, or Preston need to do to kill it off?
I think for both sides, it just comes down to execution. It really boils down to the fact that they're going to have their chances. Both of these sides look really well assured at different parts. I think Preston got their kind of verve and got their energy onto the game, and I think that really found it hard for City to dictate terms. I think like they were from in the early exchanges, but again, it comes down to who's going to execute better. These are tricky conditions, and this may well prove to be a game of two halves. City will now have the wind behind their back, so I wonder if that's going to change their approach, and they might have to go quicker to really, I think they really need to speed up in terms of bothering this Preston defence. They need to put more pressure on.
Tillmans playing the nominal striker role for City tonight, but he's been roaming all over the place. We wondered whether Melbourne City might be tempted to make an early change. Instead, it's Preston who've reached for the game's first substitution. A straight swap at the back. Great first touch from Lisalewski. Bojanovski. Well, his first contribution is not quite up to speed. It's going to be Arvanis to take the throw. Number of players nursing yellow cards from that first half after the big blow up at the end. Zach Cianci brought down cynically. Hakeem Gerald's touch just enough to outfox Leighton Brooks. Almost losing possession in a dangerous area there. Well, this is silky stuff through the middle of the park for Melbourne City as Julian Recchia forces it wide to Balla. Shows too much of the ball to Lisalewski, who's in not once but twice to win it. And Roland Balla has a problem. He's knocked his head. So play has to be brought to a halt immediately.
That's not a good sign at all. It's not what you want with Stu McDonald or any of the City lads here tonight. There's a bit of concern now for Balla. Fingers crossed that he's okay. Cianci, of course, sustained that heavy challenge right on the stroke of half-time that set off that big brouhaha as we saw. He's back out there and he's looking okay. So some walking wounded on both sides, and these heavy conditions I don't think are helping either.
Well, a lengthy concussion check ongoing for Roland Balla. It'd be a shame for the game to lose someone of his quality, although it hasn't really been his night so far.
Came oh so close to winning that penalty and that challenge from Zach Lisalewski, just right on the edge of the box. Again, not quite his night, is it? This might be the one that caps it all off. City players warming up to the right of us.
He doesn't look in a good way, just by the body language. Of course, we can't diagnose him from here, but very ginger as he made his way over to the sideline. Looks like he will be allowed to continue. Try and shake that off. Nachovsky. Oh, clattered by Lisolejski. Well, play goes on. Well, that looked a foul to me. Lisolejski was in very strongly in that challenge. Perhaps he got a piece of the ball, but my first instinct, Katie, was that was going to be a booking for Lisolejski.
To be fair, I feel that from Johannes' perspective, I thought he felt that Lisolejski was more stronger in the challenge. Bala back up on his feet, but he's been in the wars in these last few minutes.
I'll have to have another look at that one on the replay. Perhaps it wasn't as bad as I first thought. Bala has shaken it off.
Very strong from Lisolejski once again.
Varnes. He's dwelt on the ball. Quick restart from Preston. Gets the better of Baker again. Brooks across the top of the box for Chianchi and Tavia. Waiting for numbers to arrive in support. Kubale spots a nice gap for Lisolejski, who'll have time to measure this. Short to Chianchi. Felino wide to Chianchi, who peeled off his man. Chianchi low, and a cushion touch at the front post is enough to send it away. Sevilla driving into the gap and finding Bernarda. Goes around the outside for Chianchi. The cut back towards Noel. Bernarda lifts it to the back post. It was a clever ball, but Sion Cuba couldn't deflect his header on target. Just couldn't crane his neck sufficiently to generate the power and direction.
Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous from Bernarda there. Just was looping in the direction of Cuba, begging for him to knock it home, but he couldn't quite get there.
I thought Bernarda was going to pull the trigger and strike for goal, but it was an inventive cross. Showing a bit of a radar and a team first approach tonight, Bernarda, with his dummy for Tavia in the first half. If only Tavia had kept his cool.
Adjusting to this system here at Preston very, very well, it must be said.
He's been major mid-season acquisition, an instant hit. Whether he's scoring or not, contributing a lot with his pressing work and his build-up play, linking up with teammates, presenting for passes to feet. Not bad in the air either, the Argentine. Nothing less than you'd expect from a proven performer in this competition for years now. Dating back to his early days at Dandenong Thunder and Green Gully. More recently of South Melbourne, of course.
Everywhere he's gone, he's scored, you're right. Everywhere, it's just such quality on and off the ball.
Tavia trying the Bernarda dummy from the first half, and it wasn't enough pace on the ball to pull that off. Fraser Brown, frustrated by the lack of options in front of him, it looked like. Charles playing sweeper keeper. Brown. So Tilmus was the intended target. And then Bernarda was holding the left arm of Nachowski. It's a terrible quick free kick from City. Really careless loss of possession. Chianchi takes the Route 1 approach. Go at his man. Every time he's being encouraged by Zoran Markovski to go quickly. Use that burst of acceleration. Chianchi. Oh, it's hooked into the top corner for an own goal. A disastrous moment for Fraser Brown. On a night where Preston's finishing deserted them at times, City have done the job for them.
I mean, it's a gorgeous finish, just in the wrong direction, just in the wrong side. Deary me, that sums it up for City. Unfortunately, that's their night. Just the lack of execution, the mistakes that have come in at crucial times. And Preston are the beneficiaries of that. But again, the Route 1 pressure from Preston, the Route 1 direction from Preston, really putting City back. That directness, that positivity from City, that intent, I should say, from Preston, that direction from Preston, sees them now in a 2-0 lead.
Well, Chianchi again and again. He wasn't really in the game early on. Preston weren't finding the left flank, but as soon as they started finding him, he's been burning down the wing. It's almost law of averages. Eventually, one of those crosses was going to come off. City turn it over straight from the kickoff, and it's another chance for Preston to spring forward. Bernarda finding the gap. It's Brooks. 2 to aim for. Tavia. No room in front of him for Luca Tavia. Momentum's gone out of the move now. Can Leighton Brooks bring it back to life? Off a standing start, he stands it up! Chianchi was in there. Too many blue shirts in front of him. Couldn't get clean contact on the cross. Chianchi again, stops on a dime. Wasilewski. Cuba. Still going Sian Cuba. Bernarda lays it off. Tavia. I think we heard one of the Preston fans have a bit of input into that attack. A classic catchphrase of Victorian football on the touchlines around the state at any level. You'll hear that sort of thing.
It's one for the NPL sickos here tonight.
Preston couldn't pull the trigger, and well, at least one supporter wasn't impressed. Ali. Return pass from Brooks is on the money. Jamal Ali. Tavia. Shot didn't come off, pass is blocked. And then Brooks couldn't force it through. And you just feel the weight of the world on these City players now. After that demoralising own goal, fans have started getting on top of them. And Preston, it's just wave after wave of attack.
And this place can definitely do that to you. Preston roaming forward again. The fans are in full voice. It doesn't get much better than this for Preston right now. What you're probably seeing as well is a masterclass in managing a squad, in man management and squad rotation from Zoki Markovski too.
Brooks. Leighton Brooks fancies a strike. Never really got hold of it. Preston not taking the bait as Lockie Charles stood on the ball. They're in no hurry. Why would they? Charles. Cut out by Wasilewski. Tavia. Great find from Tavia. Now Ali joins in. Jamal Ali on the angle, tried to lift it into the roof of the net, I think.
A bit too much gas on that one from Jamal Ali. You know it's a sign that Preston are up and about when Jamal Ali is joining the attacks as well. This is the team that's hitting its stride at the most crucial point of the season. The City have no answers to it.
Well, I've got an answer, and it's going to be a triple substitution, Katie. See if it's the correct answer.
Or will Preston change the question? Who knows?
Turning into an episode of Jeopardy here.
I'll take Bernardo for 5,000, Josh.
Bernardo's ball in. Well, that's going to be a costly one for you, Katie. That's well off target. Now City will make those changes. Isaiah Boston is among them. In fact, it's going to be Dean Antonikakis who comes on, as well as Nahom Johannes.
I think Preston are going to take that lead as well and to triple change in the offing. Bert Gilroy among them, Jonas Markovski among them as well, the hat-trick hero from the weekend. Those changes will be enacted now.
So Leighton Brooks replaced by Jonas Markovski. George Michaelides coming on. And Anthony Bert Gilroy. Off comes Lissalesky, Chianchi and Brooks.
Definitely pre-planned changes, I think you'd have to say. But again, I think these are the right ones. Again, when you can call on someone who scored a hat-trick just 3 days ago, it's a pretty privileged position to be in. Markovski finding form and fitness at the right time, so I wonder if he'll get the chance to do so once again here and hit the score sheet.
That's number 29 Ben Mazzeo is wearing tonight, not 21 as he's previously worn in the season. So that is Ben Mazzeo who's come on up front for Melbourne City. Caught me out with this cheeky shirt number change there, Katie, but...
All part of the smoke and mirrors and fun in the NPL Victoria. Is that a flare we see?
Well, it's not in the field of play, Katie, so...
Do not adjust your screens, ladies and gentlemen. Dear me, all happening.
Looks like a maritime emergency in the Mary Creek. Not within the bounds of BT Connor Reserve, so...
Just needing to reach a bit of a flow here and now of those changes. Whenever you have those levels of changes in a game, ultimately it does change the complexion of a game. It might stutter City here, I reckon. But let's see what happens. They need to find something, they need to try something here. Just don't think the status quo is working, the plan A is working, but they're going to commit to that as we know.
Johannes. For Akeem Gerald. Line for Nachovsky. And Vlanis chasing after it. That's going to be overhit. Gilroy. Bernardo.
I think this is playing right into Preston's hands at this moment in time. Just far too slow on the ball here, Preston. And putting it in the direction of Gerald to chase is not going to be the answer. Especially when you got Bojanovski marshalling the back.
Got to get their main man, Mazzeo, involved. Tavia. Heels clipped. Preston free kick. Kubalay. Now Markovski.
Brilliant build up there though. Just moving the ball around brilliantly. Left and right. It's hard to really get an idea of just how to read this Preston ball movement. But again, it's just a work on and off the ball and just understanding each other's games. I think that's just what's really happening here. Tavir again.
Ali. Jamal Ali. Oh, it's brilliant! Jamal Ali, through a pack of players, has his first league goal for Preston. He was too quick, too slippery for the Melbourne City backline. And the Lions are 3 and clear at home.
Ruthless, brilliant, accurate. Jamal Ali getting on the end of that. His first goal for his new club. His first goal in Preston colours, and he loves it. So do the fans.
Well, that league goal has been a long time coming for Jamal Ali. And you can see just how much he enjoyed that. He had one in the Doherty Cup against Caroline Springs George Cross, but as far as the NPL has gone, he's been frustrated in front of goal.
Yep.
Jamal Ali gets in scoring positions. It was only a matter of time. It's going to be a belated free kick awarded for Akeem Gerald. This has gone just about perfectly to script for Preston tonight. The City take it short, looking for an unlikely route back into the game. Baker. Still Baker, and goal kick.
Ran out of space there, didn't he? In that instance, Baker. And that's just the way it's been, unfortunately, for City. Just a little bit clunky in the final third, clunky, indecisive, wasteful. I understand that the season has been a long one. And that's what the NPL Victoria does. It will test you. It's becoming an increasingly harder game to play, harder league to play in. I think that's what City have recognised. No matter how precocious or talented that they are, Bernardo dropping into the midfield now.
Preston have played themselves into a bit of trouble here. It's Vlanis. And Dom Felino stands him up and defends stoutly, as he has all night, against his former club.
Solid as you like, Felino. Scott just on his players, Ryan Scott just on his players, just to tighten up defensively here. They've still got this to see out. Dandy City, of course, next this weekend.
McIntosh. Oh, can Preston sting them on the break? Cuba's waiting all on his own on the halfway line, but no one found him. Daniel Lazarevsky waiting patiently to come on. Johannes. Gerald. Ali. City and Preston both preparing additional changes.
Lazarevsky's heroics in the Australia Cup as well against the Jets that has seen them to an historic quarter-final appearance coming up in another week. So still a lot to look forward to for Preston.
Chovsky. One comes to nothing. And here comes the change for Preston, and Noel Bernarda has done his job tonight. Hasn't made it onto the score sheet. Has contributed plenty in an attacking and defensive sense for Preston, so another great shift for him. Preston look to manage minutes. And it'll be the last action for Akeem Gerald as well. City's youngest ever player, Akeem Gerald. He made his debut in the AFC Champions League as a 15-year-old last year. Youngest player in AFC Champions League history as well, so he's got a big future ahead of him, but no further part to play tonight. And it's Ashton Phillies who comes on to replace him. A warm round of applause from the grandstand for Daniel Lazarevsky, who's made himself an instant hero in Preston colours with that winner against the Newcastle Jets, but I think the fans were already pretty well disposed to that surname around these parts. His dad, Nick, already a club legend from the VPL days. I believe a title winner in 2007 with Preston, their last NPL or VPL crown. Good work from Lazarevsky with his first contribution. Ollie Kubelay's been everywhere tonight.
Close to man of the match honours, if you ask me. He's just held that team, held the team together, held that midfield together brilliantly.
He snuffed out just about every Melbourne City counter-attack single-handedly. It's been very impressive from Ollie Kubelay.
Any sign of danger he's been well attuned to, and just his reading of the play, understanding of space. He's probably the most important player if you view it that way. A little bit out of space here now, Preston, and he should just shore up at the back.
This is Nahom Johannes. McIntosh shimmies onto his right boots. Can't get the shot away or find a teammate. Preston win tonight, which they are very much on course to do. City can still technically make the finals, but it will require something of a minor miracle. They need George Cross to lose both of their last two games, and they need to win both. And there's still a few teams in the way as well. Oh, Ryan Scott forced into a good save for the first time tonight. And it's Julian Recchia who unleashed that strike, but Scott was alive to it. Made it look easier than maybe it was.
And arguably their best as well, Julian Recchia, this evening. Shot stinging the palms of Scott. It's going to lead to a corner.
They go short again. It's cleverly worked from Melbourne City. They get to the byline. And the cross forces a cautious touch from Ryan Scott over the woodwork and behind for another City corner. So Preston not out of the woods yet. Of course, if you're a stats nerd like me, you'll be wondering whether Preston can keep a clean sheet tonight. It keeps the dream alive of the best defensive record in an NPL Victoria campaign. They can't concede another goal for the rest of the regular season to claim that honour. Oh, it's off the crossbar. Just a little juggle from Ryan Scott. He'll argue he had it covered. But I think that just tickled the underside of the bar.
Probably the most pressure Ryan Scott has been under all evening.
Burke Gilroy. Debutant on Sunday against Thunder. Play with reams of A-League experience at Brisbane Roar and Perth Glory. Someone who'll play a major part as Preston looks to as their championship campaign as well. Slid through by Tavia. It's Lazarevsky on the angle. It trickles towards goal. Can Markovsky bury it? Can Tavia? Blocked by the first man. Johannes with the spin away from Ali. And then they turn it over, Melbourne City. It's been that sort of night for them.
Their own worst enemies in some respects, but Preston have been brilliant in terms of applying that pressure on, so it's a double-edged sword. You'd have to look at it, but that's just execution has been lacking. And the key difference between these both of these sides here tonight.
Burke Gilroy. Cuba. For Mihalides. Sent upfield for Gerald. Mazzeo streaking through the middle. Don Felino is there to cut out the danger at the cost of a corner.
The rain may have stopped, but that wind ever present. Tricky, challenging conditions as well. Corner to come.
Another in-swinger from the left. Nachovsky can't meet it. It's a hot potato at the back for Melbourne City. Well done by Antonikakis. It's Ryan Scott sidestepping the pressure. Preston can't keep it in play. It's going to be a cameo appearance the last 10 minutes for Tobias Servin. He comes on for Dimitri Vlanis, who had a couple of nice moments in the first half with his dribbling. Little body feints this way and that caused Preston a few headaches.
Really did, didn't he? Started the game really, really well, but I think his influence waned as City's kind of had to take a back seat as City got pushed back by Preston. If you were playing more withdrawn or playing further ahead as a winger, it should be said, which is also pretty interesting. Just tucking in and just allowing Burke Gilroy just that overlap space that I think he'll thrive off.
Cuba's almost exclusively played in the midfield three for Preston this season. Has previously played as a winger at Altona and Avondale at times. Helped on by Tobias Servan, but whether you even count that in the shot count, I'm not sure.
Be very generous if you did.
Mihalidis has the beating of two. Out of air underneath the switch. The strength from Markovski. Sevilla's with him and goes over the advertising hoarding on the far side. City's intentions were just so telegraphed there. There's only one option on, and that was the 1-2 with Matteo. Don Felino read it like an open book. They seem like they're going through the motions now, Melbourne City, after playing pretty well in the first half, or at least the early stage of the game. It's all really unravelled for them since the own goal, especially. It's been a demoralised performance.
Took the wind out of their sails, it should be said, and that's fine. But you need to recover from that. You need to be able just to find a spark, even when you are fatigued. But they just haven't found it at all. Preston have just relished in that.
It's going to be 15 unbeaten in all comps for Preston tonight. 13 of those have been wins. They are on a tear in the second half of this season. Tavia, Lazarevski to finish it off. His effort is blocked. Burke Gilroy. Back with Kubalay, the midfield general tonight, as he is most weeks for Preston. Burke Gilroy with nice shape on the delivery. It comes out to Tavia! He's got one! It was a long time coming tonight, but Luca Tavia rips one into the top corner and puts some gloss on a very positive Preston performance. All his performance was lacking was a goal. You can see almost a sense of relief on his face.
Saving the best for last, it might be said. Luca Tavia, take a bow. That's a brilliant hit. Comes close and comes close all evening, and all of a sudden he saves the icing on the cake there. Brilliant stuff. What a luxury that is to call on someone like him as a mid-season acquisition, a mid to late season acquisition.
It was a fantastic finish. He's gotten in so many goal-scoring positions tonight. He'll be disappointed and kicking himself, but he doesn't have a hat-trick.
They've left goals out there, haven't they, Preston? This could have been 5 or 6.
Shouldn't matter too much. They've already got the goal difference advantage on their nearest rivals, but again, every goal is another one in the confidence tally. And a statement to the rest of the competition that Preston are here to compete come the final series. Still got big games to come and a congested fixture list, but playing like this, you'd imagine they will pass those tests.
Competing on multiple fronts is the new frontier, right? It's the next frontier, and some teams we've seen this year fail miserably at it, and they're doing quite the opposite. Even at this point in the game, 4-0 up, you can see the energy, the attitude is still there. Just still looking for that opening on the transition there. It looked like it nearly came off for Jonas Markovski on that side, on the far side.
I think this is one of Preston's better 90-minute performances of the year. They've really hit their stride now. Even with rotations to the lineup, early substitutions made, they haven't missed a beat. Too much on that for Mazzeo to have a hope.
Hasn't had the impact that they would have liked, has he? Unfortunately, they haven't quite played to his strengths for Mazzeo.
By the time he came on, the game was maybe away from them. If he'd come on just a bit earlier when there was only one goal in it.
Maybe at the break, maybe at the main break itself, yeah.
It could be on a minutes restriction. Of course, there's always the senior A-League team to consider, and he's in the middle of pre-season with them, so there's all sorts of high-performance targets and GPS restrictions on these players when it comes to this point in the season. The A-League's obviously the priority. The scholarship boys and senior footballers who are still eligible for this age group.
Sports science gone mad, if you ask me.
We've got to make sure the load on these players is not too high when you're doing double sessions and trying to impress your A-League head coach. Good ball into the box. Mazzeo, he's good in the air. Couldn't meet it. He's got some brilliant headers at NPL level in particular. Last season. McIntosh! Oh, wow. He was shaping to find the target. He did, but straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. First time he's really had a bit of room to pull the trigger tonight, McIntosh.
Got into some decent spots in the first half early on, similar to Vannes, but again, he's not just eventually got squeezed out of the game.
Mazzeo pinches it off to Villa. Mazzeo. Servant. Crossing to no one in particular. Looking a little disjointed from City, even when they have opportunities to attack. Remaining 2.5 minutes plus stoppages seems like a formality, but still a chance for these Preston players to impress and try and feature in big games to come, especially that South Melbourne quarter-final here at Jenna Steele Stadium in a week's time. And before that, 5 PM kickoff away at Frank Holohan against Dandenong City, who are in a pretty good run of form themselves, Dandy City, looking to make another late charge to finals football, as they did last season and ended up in a grand final, so that'll be a corker on Saturday. Cuba in the 1v1 here. Throws a step over. Tavia. Cuba in the 6-yard box. And it was a little shove from Markovski. No advantage for Melbourne City.
And then maybe looking a bit too further ahead, but Altona on the final day of the NPL regular season. So again, the heavy fixture for Preston, but they're adapting to it brilliantly in terms of the way that they've been able to shuffle the deck, and squad depth matters, competition for places definitely matters. And what you're seeing, and I'll reiterate, what you're seeing from Zoran Markovski is an absolute masterclass in how to compete on all 3 fronts, 3-4 fronts. Helps when you have the resources as well.
And basically a clean bill of health. They've got very few injuries at the moment. Had a terrible start to the year with injuries.
That was a ridiculous injury list in the early days, especially when you're trying to bet in your style, when you're trying to build up that chemistry. It just puts you behind the 8 ball, doesn't it? But this is why the second half of the year has been just so formidable from Preston. They're finding their groove in a big way.
There's a squad of 23 fit players, Zoran Markovski said after their win on Sunday. That's a luxury. Nicely worked. Into the back again. Ali, one of the goal scorers tonight has been enjoying himself. Might he fancy another? Ali racing up the touchline. Just boundless energy. 3 minutes up on the board to finish. Tavia. Burke Gilroy. Mihilides. Just too tough to control, and City spring the other way. Servant. It's found by Recchia, who offers for the cutback now. Julian Recchia. Nephew of a famous name, Carl Recchia, South Melbourne star of yesteryear.
Melbourne Victory Day 1 player as well.
Yep, season 1 of the A-League. There's a few famous fathers in this team. Lazarevsky, Markovsky. Recchia out there as well.
Rich in tradition, rich in the history is this football club and is the NPL as a whole. So we love it.
Matt Bozanovsky's uncle played for Preston as well. He doesn't share a surname. Here underneath that one. There was a little shove in the back of Dean Antonikakis. McIntosh forced to bring the free kick back to where the offence took place. So major implications for finals football. Lifts Preston back to 5th on the table. City looking for a late consolation. Nahom Yohannes. Oh, he just can't beat Jamal Ali. No one can tonight. Those go-go gadget legs in the way again. City with a half-hearted appeal for a penalty.
Been a bit too content to let this game meander to its inevitable conclusion here, City. Preston just able to soak this up.
Preston out of the press again, but there's no time for another Preston attack. As Yanni Zizis brings this one to a close. A very comprehensive performance for the Preston Lions to lift themselves back up the table, back into 5th spot. The chase for finals football is on. Melbourne City well behind in that chase now. They need a minor miracle to lift themselves ahead of George Cross and steal 6th spot. Doesn't look like they'll be playing finals in their first season in the Victorian top flight, but they are the first academy side to stay up in their season in NPL football, so that's some achievement from the young brigade, many of whom are still in their teens. Preston have got bigger fish to fry on Saturday against Dandenong City, and on Wednesday night right here in the Doherty Cup, the blockbuster against South Melbourne in the quarterfinals of the Australia Cup. Plus an NPL finals series likely to come. From start to finish, they were the better side. Zion Cuba got us off to a rollicking start with that free kick from outside the box into the bottom corner. Further goals, an own goal disastrously from the boot of Fraser Brown. And then Jamal Ali scoring his first goal for the Preston Lions, wriggling through a pack of players to find the bottom corner before Luca Tavia, after a few skied attempts earlier in the contest, found the top corner with a bullet. So it's Preston Lions 4, Melbourne City 0. Katie Lambeski, your final thoughts on this one?
Preston too strong, too good when it mattered most, took their opportunities when it mattered most. City had their moments, particularly at the start, where they looked like that Preston were in for a fight, but once Preston got into their groove, once Preston were able to get a read on what City were doing on the ball, and once Preston were able to get possession, once Preston were able to exploit the transition, too strong, too good, too quick, and ultimately the result tells the story. Not always it does, but ultimately this is one of those cases, just too clutch when it mattered most, and this is a team with a lot to look forward to, a lot to look ahead to, so brilliant to watch at times. Not one that City will look back on with a lot of favour, but to be fair, this first season is in the back in the top flight is a success for them. I know that they've just kind of run out of gas, they've run out of legs, and that tends to happen. Preston, on the other hand, coming good at the right time. It's just a tale of two seasons at the end of the day, but brilliant from Preston, brilliant football to watch, and we look forward to seeing so much more ahead in the next few weeks.
Well, deducted 3 points in the afternoon. Preston have won 3 back in the evening. The final score as we sign off at Jenna Steel Stadium is Preston Lions 4, Melbourne City 0.